Well, let's go to the origin of evil. Why is there evil in this world if creation was made by a holy God? That's one of the things that really messes up the Judaism and the Kabbalah, and we'll get to that in a later hour. And that's also got the Gnostics. They had this whole theory about that the entrance of evil, the nature of evil, so forth. And see, the philosophers came to the wrong conclusion that all matter was evil. All matter is evil. No, matter isn't evil or not evil. That's not their false conclusion was that a holy God could not come into contact with evil matter, so there had to be a series of emanations from God to his creation. And they believed that in a powerful spirit world that used material things to attack mankind, they made that distinction, all evil, and that led to these ascetic and strange practices. They also held to a form of astrology, believing that angelic beings ruled the heavenly bodies and influenced affairs on earth and so forth. It all builds from this strange kind of separation thing, if you will. So since to them matter was evil, they had to find some way to control their own human natures in pursuit of perfection. And two different practices emerges from this false concept. One school of thought held that the only way to conquer evil matter was by means of rigid discipline and asceticism. So they conjured up all these weird things in life to somehow deal with the evilness that was around them. And the other view was thought that it was permissible to engage in all kinds of sin. Since matter was evil anyway, it appears that the first opinion was the predominant one in Colossae, but there's two opinions. When you speak of Gnosticism, by the way, there's all kinds of shapes and sizes. It's very difficult to research this and compartmentalize it because it has all kinds of convolutions. But matter is not evil. The human body is not evil. Each person is born with a fallen human nature that wants to control the body and use it for sin, but the body itself is not evil. And if that were the case, Jesus Christ would never come to earth in a human body. That tells you volumes right there. And nor would he have enjoyed the everyday blessings of life that ministered on the earth, such as attending wedding feasts and accepting invitations to dinner and so forth. Those aren't evil things. Diets and disciplines can be good for one's health, but they have no power to develop true spirituality, to separate the two issues. Doesn't mean that diets and those things can't be good, even exercise, fine, but it doesn't have anything to do with your spiritual life. So, Gnosticism, their concept was spiritual perfection by mixtures of legalism, rules, mysticism of all kinds, and we'll be dealing with some of those in the next hour. Special rites and ceremonies, Eastern philosophic thought, diet-based commitments. These are all false concepts deriving from their views, erroneous views, of the origin of evil. Legalism comes the Messianic Judaizers. You find them today. Nothing's more exciting than a Messianic Jew, a Jew that has discovered his Messiah. It's marvelous. And yet, many of them are still under the law. They haven't studied the book of Romans. They haven't studied, I don't think the book of Galatians is in their Bible somehow. So, and mysticism. That's a strange term to use, but all kinds of Christians are chasing experience-based phenomenon. Gold dust or whatever, and you can almost build a panorama of what's weaving through the culture. People who, once you start looking for experiences, rather than relying on the Word of God, you're inviting this bizarre results. And the origin of evil, we have a full study on that gets into the gap theory and all that stuff also. You might find kind of fun. So.